There it goes. 0 degrees Celsius is like the threshold. We're going to warm this tractor up and we're going to take it for a little drive. And there we go. Beauty. Alright, let's roll out of here. So it's 7 a.m. and we are roading up to the North Farm. Well, Mike, I do have a few questions, buddy. Number one is I thought that you were going to take this thing up, I don't know, like a week or so ago. And that was actually the plan. But due to weather and conditions, and we've had some really big winds here, and some blowing snow down to 0 visibility, it's just not safe to take the tractor on those types of conditions. You do not want to get rear-ended on the highway. It's just not worth it. I don't have to take the tractor up that bad. So finally, we found some nice days with good visibility. Yeah, there might be some salt on the road, unfortunately, road salt, and that's not like a salt shaker type salt, okay? And yeah, it is corrosive, but we'll have to try and find a place that we can wash this off. Well, Mike, why are you even taking it up there? Well, I need it up there to move snow, because remember we wanted to clean seed before Christmas, and it was too cold. Remember that? Well, it's now 0 degrees Celsius, so need to get up there, start moving all the snow, and believe me, I was up there once already, and there's a lot more snow up there, so, and try and get geared up to clean seed. Rain. It's going faster than I am, I guess. I think they do something like 80 kilometers, around 50 miles an hour. Oh, there's a semi. Well, Mike, can we please just quickly talk about why you're driving this thing and not getting it hauled up there? Absolutely, I have discussed that before. It cost me like $2,500 and change, maybe to $3,000, depending on exactly where I'm going or where I'm coming from. You got to remember, we're already left part way. Like, we left from Swift, so it's not quite half, but it beats driving it from back home in the South Farm. But regardless of that fact, if I could save $2,500 or $3,000 for 10 hours worth of work, it's not even work. 10 hours worth of driving, who the heck wouldn't do that? That'd be like giving someone like $250 to $300 an hour just to sit in a tractor or sit in a vehicle, even just drive. Like, they'd be like, do I gotta do anything physical? No. Do I gotta jump down into a tank of sewer by myself? No. Do I gotta climb Mount Everest? No. Just gotta drive a tractor and listen to some tunes. Heck yeah. Well, Mike, you obviously haven't calculated in the fact that it's costing you something to drive. You got to get up there with diesel fuel, hours of wear and tear on your tractor. And let's talk about tires for a second. Yeah, let's talk about tires for a second. You know, it's a common misconception is, you know, you take a tractor tire and you road it down the road for a little ways, and then everyone thinks, oh man, my tires are absolutely shot, or your tires are going to be absolutely shot. You can't be roading tires like that on a tractor. They're not built for it. And you're right, they're not built for it. But that is a common misconception. We move hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles all over. We've done it for 10 years, 15 years. We move all over the country for farmland. Now, this is probably, what, 3rd year in moving this far? It doesn't eat off your tires like everyone says it eats off your tires. Now, maybe if you're pulling something, like if you were really making them work and slip and grind and grip and stuff on the pavement, then yeah, it's going to be hard on your tires. You're just roading something like this, it's not that hard on your tires. That's a common misconception. Well, Mike, what about fuel and hours? That's a dead expense to you. That is true. That is true. But you know what? The hours, I'm paying for those hours, whether this tractor just sits in a shop its entire life, or I'm going to drive it. One way or another, those hours are getting paid for. That's figured into the cost of the tractor. So why don't I just save myself $2,000 or $3,000 of upfront cost? Well, Mike, what about the fuel? Fuel burn is pretty good on these things. I have to admit that. They're pretty dang good. Pretty happy with it. Although I would sacrifice fuel burn or DEF burn. I'd sacrifice a lot of things to make sure that it would start better during the winter. Oh man, but anyways, obviously, a trailer or a semi-truck to load these things up and on and road them back and forth, that is the long-term goal. But you know what? Rome wasn't built in a day. And there's only so much money to go around. It doesn't matter who you are, what you do. There's only ever so much money to go around. So you got to choose wisely, however it fits your operation, to handpick what you think or your operation for logistic reasons need the most. I just found this pro video feature. Apparently I don't dig into my phone very much, but anyways, I think it definitely cuts down on some of the glare, and it makes the window look a little more clear than what it is, just due to the highways are a little bit frosty and a little salty and splattery, and my window's about to get pretty dirty, I think, on this trip. It doesn't have very quick access zoom controls. There's only 2 instead of 3. But, so I don't know if this is going to be a permanent thing or not, but interesting. Cool. Our sun is trying to peek up. Beautiful morning. So I know you guys have some more questions, and I know some of them are going to be like, Mike, I think you're overly critical. Why did you buy a tractor? Clearly buy a tractor that you knew would start awesome during the winter. Well, maybe I'm overly critical sometimes, but actions do speak louder than words. I keep buying them for a reason, because I like them. If I didn't like them, I wouldn't buy them. It's pretty simple. What I'm getting at, it's kind of like the windshield. This windshield, that's not laminated. Now, maybe you guys can get it laminated, but it shouldn't even be an option not to be laminated. If I take a rock, which could come off of any of these trucks that are going by me, or when we get to 2-lane highway and I start meeting trucks, if I take a rock, it's going to blow this entire windshield right out. It's happened. Scroll back a few videos. I've blown out a front windshield on the previous 720, actually. So like this front windshield, that shouldn't be an option not to be laminated. But if you're going to be selling equipment into a cold part of the world, it should be an option to have like a cold weather package. Now maybe that's a dealer that puts that together and works side by side with the manufacturer, but regardless, it shouldn't be aftermarket stuff that the dealer has to put on. A lot of aftermarket stuff is not always awesome. Okay, it's better if it's manufactured, installed from the factory, wired in, done properly. Now, a few examples which I think would be very beneficial for like a cold weather package. I'm going to list off a few things that would be valuable on our farm. Let's start with oil weight first. First of all, let's drop our oil weight down, maybe from a 1040 synthetic. Let's maybe take it down to, I don't know, like a 040 or something. That's going to help. Let's drop our oil weight in our hydraulics, because when you leave this thing out at minus 20, minus 30, or heaven forbid it gets down to minus 40 degrees Celsius, your hydraulics are so stiff you can't even function them, and you're gonna spend 30 minutes just trying to function your hydraulics. Maybe you click in your hydraulics down in here and you just cycle those puppies, but regardless, you let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes. This has happened many times when we're bucketing grain bags. They instantly get stiff again. So let's lighten the weight up on the hydraulics, and let's put heaters in everything. Like, let's warm up that hydraulic oil. Let's warm up the transmission oil. Obviously, we need more cranking power. Let's throw an extra battery in. Okay, maybe we need battery warmers. Let's throw battery warmers in. Let's wire everything in so we can just plug it in on 2 plugs. Okay. Maybe we also need a cold weather front. When we're roading and stuff and it's super cold out, just like what you would put on your vehicle, we need a cold weather front. Obviously, we're going to need a Wabasco, or we're going to need a preheat. You know, you got to be able to cycle that water, and you got to get it to like 100 or 150 degrees Celsius, so that way you have a chance and hope of getting this thing going. Let's talk about the emission system. DEF. Don't get me going on how much I hate DEF, but apparently it's going to stick around for a little while, and well, I don't know that, because apparently I'm told it's killing the bees, and well, they have no idea what they're doing. Okay, they have no idea what the repercussions of all this stuff is going to be in about 10, 20, 50, 100 years from now. But regardless, part of the cold weather package, and they know where they're sending these things. Once it gets down to say minus 10, you could almost just say freezing, but let's dip it down to minus 10 degrees Celsius. Once it gets down to minus 10 degrees Celsius, it quits using DEF. It literally shuts it off. It no longer will use it. It's pretty easy to do because the tractor can actually tell you what the temperature is outside. So once it gets down to minus 10, it no longer needs DEF. DEF is a joke. It's water. Its main component is water. What happens when it freezes? It freezes. It breaks. It splits stuff. Why should you be fixing this thing? Okay, so it gets down to minus 20 and it breaks something. Okay, well, you fix that, you go for a little while, throw up another code. About a couple weeks later, got down to minus 30, broke something again. So you fix that, and then this is a money pit for not only the manufacturers, but also us farmers. It's a money freaking pit. And not only is it a money pit, it completely makes the equipment during the winter unreliable. You have no idea. You could send somebody out to a grain bag 20, 40, 60 miles out in the middle of nowhere, and it's minus 30, minus 40 degrees Celsius, no cell service, because that's very common. We don't have cell service on all of our land. And normally we have bags scattered all over the freaking country. And then you're going to get out there, or someone's going to get out there, and you've coordinated. You maybe have 10 semis showing up per day. 10 semis showing up per day, picking up grain bags. And oh, you threw up a DEF code. It's throwing you in limp mode. This has happened. We've drug our 930s on the trailers before. We've drug our 516 on the trailer. We've drugged these things on the 720 on the trailer. This is an ongoing problem for all farmers. Doesn't matter whether it's Fendt. I'm not picking on Fendt. This is a John Deere problem. This is a C&H problem. DEF, when it freezes, whoever thought that was a good idea to run DEF when it's out in an environment where it freezes is a freaking idiot. Obviously, it's going to be sticking around, or unless you're just going to delete it. And that's what, at the end of the day, is going to happen. Unless we can have some sort of an override system on these things when it gets cold, so we can still function and have a reliable piece of equipment, farmers are just going to delete it. And why are they going to delete it? It's going to make their equipment reliable during the winter. It's going to alleviate a lot of the finances, expenses to go in to keep getting this thing fixed all the time. Well, Mike, it's supposed to be covered for 5 years. Yeah, well, it's covered for 5 years. And then after that, it's not covered anymore. Then it's your baby. Guaranteed 90% of equipment that is after 5 years old is completely deleted. Why do you want to fix this thing 5 times during the winter? You don't. Make it so once it gets down to minus 10, it stops using it. Easy peasy. Life's breezy. And then once it warms up in the spring, then you can fix it. Which reminds me of our case sprayers. Now, you don't use 90% of your farm equipment during the winter because it's winter. It's minus 20, it's minus 30. It's cold outside. It's winter. You're not going to go spraying. It's winter time, right? Right. Well, our case sprayers are a prime example. Every year, it's just something that you budget for. When you fire, like we parked them in the fall, we winterized them, we parked them, they're just sitting down there. Once March or April rolls around and it starts nicely getting warm and spring's here, we're gonna fire them up. And we're gonna fix a DEF-related issue on each piece of equipment. On the case for sure, and we've had issues on the John Deere combines after sitting through the winter as well. So this is a very common thing, and it's not one manufacturer over the other. If you're going to put something that can freeze out in the prairies, it's going to give you issues, which is why it needs to stop working once it gets down to minus 10. Probably should be 0. Once it gets down to 0, it no longer will require DEF until it warms back up. And then when it warms back up, you just fix it one time instead of fixing it 10. Rant over for that. So these poor saps lost a wheel, and we'll see. Maybe I'll just give them a little lift up with my pallet fork here. They lost 2 wheels. It's unfortunate. They're from Montreal and they're on their way back. Super nice guy, but they just got their wheels put on and then they were told to retorque them, so they did. And I'm thinking they over-torqued them because it broke all the studs off. They didn't come loose or anything. So maybe a combination between the age. It's an old school bus that's been converted into like a camper. So between the age and probably over-torqued. Unfortunate, but I can't help them, so they have a tow truck en route, so we're gonna hit the road. Sometimes it's hard to know where the line is, as we're just getting back on the road here. I don't want to video someone else's unfortunate circumstances. You know, if it was mine, no big deal. Boy, we'd be showing you exactly what happened and where it happened and how it happened and why I think it happened and so on and so forth. But since it's not mine, and sometimes, yeah, it's just a tough spot to know where that line is sometimes. Respecting people's privacy, I guess, is what I'm trying to get to. And, you know, not everyone's okay with you shoving a camera in their face, you know. I just jump out of your tractor and they're like, hey, how's it going? And you're just recording the whole time. Oh, I hope you don't mind I'm recording. Oh, you do? Oh, okay, well, it don't matter anyway. And that's not who I am. I definitely want to respect people's boundaries. And it's just hard to know where that line is sometimes. We are just arriving in Moose Jaw. And, whoa, the track's a little rough. Getting a little bit hungry. It wouldn't be a completed roading trip with the tractor with Mike without going through a drive-thru, would it? Absolutely not. It'd make this drive-thru this corner here. Yeah, can I get the classic bacon and eggs?
The classic bacon and eggs?
Yes, and could I get I'll get the eggs easy over. I'll get the healthy white toast, please. And sorry, what was that? I'll get the healthy white, sorry.
Okay.
And can I get the
hash brown and the coffee?
Yes, I'll also get a hash brown, but can I exchange the coffee for an orange juice, a medium orange juice, please?
Pardon?
Hold on, 1 sec. I'll just get a little closer to you here. Can I get the exchange the coffee for a medium orange juice?
Okay.
And yes, I will get the hash brown as well.
Okay, so it's the classic over easy eggs, white toast with a hash brown and a medium orange juice?
That is correct.
Is that everything?
That's everything.
Okay, your total comes to $12.87 at the window.
Okay, thank you. I guess just turn off my park brake, that'd probably help. Now I'll have to shut you guys off because I pay with my phone. I figure you guys understand. Don't know how many tractors they get in their drive-thrus. Oh, that's awesome. Emma, she's working the till here, and she's like, this is the coolest thing I've seen in the drive-thru. And I didn't want to tell her that it's not my first drive-thru I've been through, but...
Do you want jams or anything?
Should I get the strawberry jams? Thank you. Thank you, Emma. You have yourself a good one. All right, let's get out of here. Get Hammy out of your way. No, Hammy's he's gonna stay in the corner there for right now. I gotta eat, and we'll hit the road. Just realized that I didn't get my orange juice. We gotta go back and get my orange juice. I'm just sitting in the parking lot, actually the cool parking lot. But I gotta go get my orange juice. She's walking it over. Emma is the best. I just noticed I didn't get my orange juice, and then I looked over and she's walking it over. Unbelievable service. Thank you, Emma. You were freaking awesome. All right, well, let's get back up on the road here. All right, guys, I will see you when we get there. you know, I can't help but feel that it's starting to snow and blow. We got a long ways here yet to go, so hopefully road conditions maintain well. I know it's getting a little slippery out there because it's sifting across the highway. And hopefully we don't lose visibility because I don't want to be a hazard on the highway either. But that's life when you're in Saskatchewan. You never know what's going to happen. The weather could change in 5 minutes. So after a quick little stop at Subway here, we're in Southie. We're about to hit the road. Met some cool people here. Met Taylor guy, and Mike was driving by and hit the brakes and came in and said hi as well. Awesome folks up here. Oh boy, we're losing stuff. That's actually one of the things I really enjoy about Saskatchewan is everyone's friendly around here. Well, the majority is. The majority of everyone is friendly. You always get the odd bad apple, but for the most part, people wave to you when you're driving down the highway. People wave when you're going down a gravel road. It's like the code. It's like the Saskatchewan code. Everyone has a different wave. You know, sometimes have the salute. You know, someone's just got the one finger wave, two finger wave. I'm the kind of guy that's like, if you're gonna do it right. but sometimes I don't wave back because I think I maybe kind of freak out sometimes. Let's pull over on this approach up here and see what we're driving on here. Take a look. I gotta get out and stretch the legs a little bit here. It's a little slick. It's definitely windy. We're getting closer. We're only a few hours away probably. Oops, sorry about that wind. All right, let's get going. Oh, can't do a burnout. Fair enough. Can't be that icy. So we've been on the road for around 6 hours, maybe a little bit over. We just topped up with some fuel. We were around, I don't know, a couple notches above half, but not quite 2/3. We used up about 140 liters. So my guess is we're about 3/4 of the way there. Probably take about 200 liters of fuel to get it up here. So that's not bad. I'd love to take this thing to a car wash. Unfortunately, where we're going, I don't have any water that isn't froze to use this thing on. But as soon as I go and wash this thing in a town that I'm driving to, we still have to go on salty roads. So I don't know if there's really a point. It really pains me to have my tractor dirty, especially with road salt. But you're right, let's wash it. There's got to be a car wash in this town somewhere. I don't know if I'm gonna fit in here. I better go and investigate. Two people just got in there, and looks like they got some serious washing to do. And I think it will be tight. So you know what? I'm just gonna bypass. We'll say that we tried, because I actually just don't want to wait. I want to get the cracking. Try to get to our destination before it gets. Well, I know it's gonna be dark. It's definitely gonna be dark. Okay, see you later. Okay, what do we got here? Do you think that I could make that car nervous if I just lifted up my loader and then went right over the car? Oh man, the fun stuff that you could do, you guys. If we were like in my small town, I would totally do that. Just lift up my loader and go right over them, and then just nose right up to the back of their car with my tractor. But I don't know these people. They might not like that. Well, we have arrived. Oh boy, there's some bad snowbanks here on this little road. We did very well for time. It took us pretty much exactly 8 hours. We cut across some back roads, tried to trim off a little bit of time. This is probably the quickest I've ever made it up here. Okay, these snowbanks. But anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna throw my bucket on and I'm gonna start moving some snow. So thanks for tagging along, and I'll talk to you guys later. Adios, amigos.